My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California.
It's currently 2:35 a.m. and it is August 6, 2024. So the loud, audible activity that's inside of a hotel room, which is a facilitating venue. You saw my perpendicular shadows outside. You saw the demonic pacing by planes and the documentation of the demonic pacing and amplified helicopter activity. You literally saw the light source remain over me from the state of California to the state of the facilitating venue of the state of Nevada. This is all manner of the P.O.C. And so this is audible activity that my hotel room is filled with while in operation of my communication device, which the entity is engaging in. It's not different from demons pacing around in the hotel room. So the entity has filled my hotel room with the means of loud audible activity, which is clearly disruptive of a hotel room that you paid for, while they are also group stalking you and keeping you under surveillance, and doing so by being placed in a hotel room where noise is just occurring as you're in operation of your communication device. And you also happen to be capturing damning evidence against the state of Nevada and also against government actors such as Kevin McMahal. This is the P.O.C. and that amplified audible activity is occurring inside of my hotel room, room number 239 at Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, California. And the entity is using that noise as it's the same demonic pattern. So again, you are recognizing the demonic pattern of conduct, and you are recognizing the ways in which the entity engages in the pattern, but the pattern remains the same. And the pattern is the behavioral patterns, which are demonic, occur in the demonic environment. And it is a means of not only harassment and intimidation and terrorism, it's also clearly disruptive in an expensive hotel room that you paid for. And the entity is using it to, in other words, stalk with audible activity. The entity also engages in such conduct to harass and terrorize because they're hostile demons who are monitoring in a private space. Okay, so Marriott is already subject to prosecution for group stalking. Marriott is group stalking with the state that's pacing around in helicopters, doing so also in the specific environment with community ambulance who arrived, all of whom it's a public event every time I pull my panties down. And you have community ambulance who are promptly arrived to engage in monitoring while the target individual, that is myself, my genitalia is exposed, and that is literally a public event for the demon possessed who are group stalking and keeping you under surveillance, maintaining presence in relevant position with a method of light activity in order to monitor and surveil you, which is the sexual violence built into the P.O.C. This is the venue where the entity is filling my hotel room with an inexplicable form of loud audible activity while Title 18 and criminal surveillance is underway. Again, it's August 6, 2024. This is P.O.C.
License 241 ATF.
It's currently August 6, 2024. It's 12:22 p.m. And upon my departure of third-party facilitating venue Courtyard by Marriott, which again is located at, let me put this address of the crime scene, and everyone else in relevant position is within the same crime scene where the entity is documented under the fake sun, the light source, and it zenith over the top of my head upon my departure in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the entity is also stalking in the path. This is terrorism, while the people of the state are demon possessed, terrorizing you while they're pacing all around you, stalking as a population, and engaging in the lying in wait, psychotic behavior by the demon possessed, who are stalking at every turn where you go. This is captured on the video that I captured today at the facilitating venue, Courtyard by Marriott. And the entity is also stalking in plane and helicopter on both sides of my person. The facilitating venue, the corrupt and state facilitating venue of Harry Reid International Airport, is documented, while Southwest Airlines is documented hovering, just like you saw last night. This is the same demonic pacing in the specific environment where you're seeing the light source, and that's creating context regarding what the Harry Reid International Airport is directly engaging in, from which they have no constitutional protections. It is the pattern of conduct, and they're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, and they did it on video again, like the mentally ill continue to do. Documentation of the entity stalking in the specific environment, because that's what it is. In the specific environment, there is no ordinary conduct. Everything is serving the purpose of federal group stalking and monitoring. It is identifying criminal activity that is occurring in your face, which becomes the impermissible threat upon documentation, which the entity is fully aware of the fact, while they're engaged in federal stalking, that the targeted individual is exercising their right to enforce their rights against the government and the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government, from keeping them under surveillance and practicing their demonic ritualistic methods of stalking and surveillance. This is what I captured on video, and that is exposing simultaneously the state actor that is a Nevada State Police, the state actor that is the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and the entity that is acting such as state actors such as the Community Ambulance, who were group stalking last night, engaging in the sex offense. That is while waiting until the moment, the pivotal moment that your genitalia is exposed, that you're engaging in private personal activity in a private space, arriving to practice federal group stalking and monitoring in a manner that also the target individual observes, which is a sexually violent threat. This is arriving with an ambulance, providing light activity, and just picking up the demons who are group stalking. That's exactly who they're picking up in an ambulance. This is the entirety of that pattern of conduct, and you're looking at bare face psychotic group stalking that is sexually violent. And Courtyard by Marriott is going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted for that. The employees of Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, apart from, this is distinct, it's the same entity. Across state lines, you're understanding what is the same entity, however. The entity is in a different state. This is the prosecution of the state of Nevada, and I'm showing you and juxtaposing the pattern of conduct, the crime scene, with the crime scene as it already exists on the record in California. And it is impossible that the sun is over the top of my head at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles at 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6, while I am capturing the fake sun directly over the top in its zenith in the same manner and position that it is in Las Vegas at Courtyard by Marriott at 5845 Dean Martin Drive in Las Vegas, which is what I captured on video, where the entity provides video documentation of unquestionable and irreducible evidence of demon-possessed government actors who are currently a part of the Nevada State Police, that is the CHP, and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and the police, the police who are group stalking with the people of the state, such as the Harry Reid International Airport, that are using airplanes to practice federal group stalking and monitoring in sync with the demon possessed who are pacing all around under the light source amongst engineer light. All of this is captured on the video that I just captured upon my departure of Courtyard by Marriott, and it is again, the address is 5845 Dean Martin Drive. The entity is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, and that license plate is the documentation of a third party that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring in sync with the rest of the people whom I'm going to document right now, engaging in criminal surveillance. This is the sex offense that the entity engages in, literally checking out hotel rooms to maintain criminal presence. It is not based on, nor is it relevant, the fact or where the target individual goes to maintain, to get a hotel room, for example, because wherever it is the target individual goes, the entity is there and is engaging in the elements of monitoring. There is no legal argument and there is no legally relevant basis to contend, because you don't know the target individual, because you are checking in to a hotel which you reserved a week ago, that is somehow not the pattern of conduct. That is already established as not fact. The facts are the pattern of conduct are ceaselessly underway by any and everyone. Republic, group stalking in California, and group stalking here, license 109331P. Crossing path, that's a dumpster truck for public services, and so is this demon driving a commercial truck, 2997146. Pacing with 9AFC142, 8CAJ053. And I'm going to capture, this is UNFI. Oh, I can't really see that one. I'm getting the
third-party group stalker UNFI, stalking in the path with light activity, and the male is seeking to avoid being captured. I'm going to prosecute UNFI, US.1799097. You'll see the image of the vehicle, which is group stalking using a commercial means to do so. That's civil and criminal prosecution of that commercial actor, where the demon-possessed are carrying the cargo, if you will, of third-party companies who are also engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. So it's not as though this demon is engaging in something that the companies themselves are ignorant about. This is a crime committed by the state. The people of the state are literally the state. I'm showing you vicarious and direct conduct. The entity is acting through UNFI. This is the third party who was captured in still images, group stalking with the people who are pacing while the fake sun moves itself over me as I am at Courtyard by Marriott, and I'm going to document the people acting. This is license plate. Hold on, this third party's license. Let me get over here. So I'm going to document this third party in a large truck who's group stalking, which is light activity and audible activity. And then this is the entity that's as though they're going somewhere. They're group stalking. License 71319A. That's Nevada. That is Holcim, HOLCIM. Pacing with license 736ZCP. The fake sun remains over me. Group stalking is also residence in by Marriott. This is all documented on the Google Drive for today, which is July. It's August 6, 2024. The back license plate on the third-party group stalker UNFI, Better Food, Better Future. They're engaged in group stalking. Okay, and the back license plate is from Maine. It's 3232271, and you will see in that image the capturing the scientific impossibility. That is the identification of a group stalker using a commercial means and a demon-possessed driver, and you're identifying the people of the state by any means, including the logos that they represent, while the state is stalking in helicopters, while the state is stalking in airplanes, using airports to engage in the elements of monitoring. This is psychological torture that the people and the state are engaging in together, and it is at the same time pointing directly to who the federal government is going to visit, and that is Nevada State Police. That is the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. The entity is acting in concert with let me be clear, the fire departments are clearly on alert, including the demon-possessed, as community ambulance demonstrated. These EMTs that are affiliated with these hospitals, which are facilitating venues, okay, where they're engaging in criminal summoning. That's what you saw at MGM under the fake sun yesterday evening, which was August 5th, 2024. Documenting the P.O.C. license plate CWW5168. Crossing path, license plate 870UUA. This is California, 9EBD670. And this is license LV4B6B, license 472PTM, that's Oregon, JR70K, that looks like Texas, CWX9705, 887ZZN, OET494, that's Oklahoma, TSV 2194, Texas, present while the entity was stalking, engaging in psychological torture and terrorism using 2 helicopters that you saw hovering at low elevation, where the fake sun is directly over the top of my head. That's the grounds of federal prison. I'm going to continue to document the people of the state. 762V05, QPL B85, that's Florida, 201Y34, 754ZZM, 9HPB781, and Courtyard by Marriott is going to be prosecuted as an exceedingly violent sex offender, which I will recover civilly and criminally, and the employees are going to federal prison. They are providing a facilitating venue for the people to participate in the state's pattern of conduct, and they are directly engaged in the pattern of conduct. And while the people of the state pace all around, which you saw on video, which you already know is established as the P.O.C, the entity is engaging in terrorism and molesting my person with engineered light while they're stalking. And let me be clear, the demons of Courtyard by Marriott also exhibit hostility while that happens. License 007P72. This is where the entity, they're going to federal prison because the state is group stalking via amplification and systematic facilitation and stalking by helicopter. So Courtyard by Marriott, the employees are going to federal prison. Those that I documented on podcast last night, the entity is maintaining criminal presence. The license plates that I'm documenting right now, they are group stalking and engaging in federal stalking with the government that on video engaged in the terrorism and the psychological torture of stalking in a helicopter while they are facing evidence, which, let's just name one off the top of my head. I don't know. The Los Angeles Police Department, which, by the way, the head of the Nevada State Police is directly from that heavily corrupted and demon-infected agency. It is no mystery why the state police in Nevada are engaging in the same exact pattern of conduct. Okay, you have corrupt leaders and demon-possessed leaders like that are sitting in Nevada, and this criminal system is underway, and this is how you have demons having access to helicopters, engaging in
psychological torture, and then their mental illness is made manifest while they do it in the face of federal investigators and federal prosecutors. And they're going to be prosecuted, and there's no reasonable question regarding what they are, nor will there be any mystery about who is stalking in the helicopter at that time. You're going to produce it, and you're going to federal prison. License XXA6AV, that's Arizona. License 167S10. This is the entity that is group stalking at Courtyard by Marriott. So I'm reading the license plates that are engaging in criminal surveillance as I'm isolating the venue. This is the venue where I was at. The pattern of conduct exceeds beyond this community. This hotel, clearly Fairfield by Marriott, Residence Inn, Stay Bright Suites, and Holiday Inn. They're all group stalking as well. It goes exceedingly beyond the ratio of relevant positioning. The entire entity is group stalking. The freeway is a means of demonic pacing. And you understand this because the pattern of conduct in California is fully established. License plate. Oh, they don't have a license plate. Oh, NY129154. And that's a paper plate on a black Cooper, Mini Cooper, and it's paper. It is currently 12:34 p.m. All right, and remember all of the harm suffered while at Courtyard by Marriott. Courtyard by Marriott is going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted for what the people of the state do. They're doing it at the facilitating venue that Courtyard by Marriott extends to the government, which are the people vicariously acting, maliciously acting, and doing so for the criminal purpose of plotting, conspiring to murder and kidnap an American citizen. That's why you're group stalking, and that's why you are criminally misusing your business for that purpose. That's how you have amplification inside of your hotel room. That's how you have demonic pacing by those that work and that are engaging in the pattern of conduct at the venue. That's how you have and why you have a fake sun over that venue. The people of the state are not ignorant. They are demon possessed, fully engaged in state surveillance. WVWW. It is currently 12:34 p.m. License plate DC0628. That's a paper plate, and that's California on a black Chevrolet Silverado. License AQA1A5W. And that's California, I believe. License, this is the demon, I believe it is, but 245ZPE, that's a blue Hyundai, which Uber was groups like that might not be the same exact person, but I just recognize the vehicle, but that may be, the license plate is already on the record. 659S45, 290Y53, FP171217, that's Illinois. License plate T549JT, that's Utah. License plate 524ZTW. License plate, I don't see a license plate on that. Yeah, no license required for the little motorcycle. 808F89, and that is, you can disregard. I'm going to prosecute this venue. It's their company vehicle. You can disregard that. License ATC D36 or ATC 036. It's a red and white license plate, which I believe is, I want to say Colorado, or it might be Montana. I'm going to get that license plate right now. 341T50. Engaging in surveillance in the parking lot. License plate 213ZHT, and they're group stalking with UNFI. That's stalking in the path. Doing so while the entity was using a means of light activity, and the demons are pacing on the street and all around the park. Again, Residence Inn, which is adjacent to Courtyard by Marriott. They're engaged in federal stalking, and they're engaged in state surveillance, which is terrorism with the state of California. 197Y53. That's a demon driving in a white van. Engineer light is all over the ground in front of that demon that's driving that white van. That's impossible light activity, and that's the admission of a demon who is stalking. 9KHA15181BXHV, which is Florida. Oh, the 9KHA151 is California. License, yeah, that's Colorado, the red and white license plate. FLT are the small letters on the side, and it's AIHY29, Colorado. BMC Z26, which is New Mexico. 08328R3, California. This is a license plate 10227B2, and it is on a commercial vehicle. Harvey General Contractors, whoever it is that works for that, whose vehicle it is, they're a demon, and that's a corrupt business. They will use it. They do use it for purposes of state surveillance. I surmise that they're here as a group stalker. They're engaged in criminal surveillance, but not necessarily on the job, misusing that business as a means of engaging in the state system. But for purposes of identification, it's on a commercial vehicle. Harvey General Contractors, license 10227B2, that's California. License CWV7629, Arizona. And this is the fake sun over me at Residence Inn right now. Residence Inn is adjacent to Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, which is how you are aware of the fact that those are demons stalking in helicopter on video. And you already know that demons are readily identifiable while engineer light moves all across surfaces, including my person. And this is terrorism via directed light that the people openly engage in, and they will be intensely prosecuted for that. The federal government will appreciate the means whereby the people of the state engage in psychological torture, sexual violence, and criminal surveillance. And this engineer light is an integral aspect of that. All right, capturing the fake sun, which is it's 12:39 p.m. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's just stressing how profound the evidence is of federal group stalking and monitoring and demon possession while I am capturing my movement in real time, let alone the fact that it's here. But again, as I move from a different venue, so does the fake sun. License 341T50. And it is indeed a Colorado plate, license plate AIC D36, and the small little letters on the side of that is FLT. So the large characters are AIC D36 of Colorado. License plate, I believe I read this one already, T549JT, Utah. License 420Y68. License FP, small letters, and then 1712127, that's Illinois, I believe I read that one. 301N91. License of Arizona CTL 0740. License 49H202. License 219 UEE. License 864 ZGE. License AOA1A5W, that's Alabama. This entity was engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring all night, Residence Inn, and the demon possessed who were checking in and out of their hotel rooms is a matter of record. They were engaging in a perpetual sex offense, monitoring an American citizen inside of a private space in concert with the state of Nevada. 985Y85, 9KHN284, license 3206A5, license 7H1EM, that's Utah, and these commercial actors, Capital, North American Moving Services, they are group stalking by virtue of presence, and they are group stalking with Residence Inn by Marriott. And the fake sun I just captured in still images at 12:41. You can see it through the rear windshield, and it's over the top of my head, which is evidence of criminal presence and state surveillance. The people of the state whose condition and their criminal engagement in the system is fully exposed. So I'm going to capture the commercial means of engaging in the state's pattern of conduct, and it is license plate 274D16. That's Capital North American Moving Services. The demons who are using commercial airline planes from Harry Reid Airport. Demons are group stalking at Courtyard. Excuse me, yes, Courtyard. But I'm currently at Residence Inn by Marriott, which you will observe in the picture that I just captured at 12:43. And you can see that light source hovering at the same height as the very low standing compared to what is the ginormous sun, the gaseous ball of fire that's in constant movement and that is not crouching down beside buildings and structures that we as human beings are inside of. It's a lot higher than that, and it doesn't shoot light horizontally. The sun is above us, and sunlight comes down at a trajectory and doesn't dip underneath, and it also doesn't ricochet off of the roofs of cars and off while it's hitting the roof of the car. Somehow light is shooting off of the side of the, that's all demonic, and it's all relevant for what are demons who are stalking you, and they're engaged in federal stalking as well. You can see that light source hunkered down directly above me in Las Vegas, Nevada at 12:42 p.m. TCW 1777, CZ8PX, that's Utah, CHY6411, Washington, DXP904, that's Dallas, V86SHU, New Jersey, 246PTM, Oregon, 3127A5, and 584Z71. All right, this is, again, going to prosecute the International Airport of Harry Reid. They're a state actor, and they're also demon infected. I just want to be clear. Those are demons that have pilot licenses, and this is, again, what the federal government is going to address. The means of terrorism that the corrupt states are utilizing for purposes of engaging in massive surveillance, which includes group stalking, that is terrorism in the sky space, and by the population that is surrounding on the ground, and what is a demonic environment that we are all as a world informed about now. License KCS, and population that are the perverted, the demon possessed, and the very mentally ill.
people of the state of Nevada engaged in a violent sex offense in the shoes of the state, practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. That is keeping a woman under surveillance in a private space, which is understood to be a hotel room. And the entity is practicing federal group stalking and monitoring and stalking a woman. Okay, you have males and females alike, over and under the age of majority, engaging in massive surveillance of one. I am not a Unabomber. I do not have any top undercover secrets regarding the future of this nation. I have not made any threats to the president. I have not engaged in any major bank robbery. The entity is engaging in a perpetual sex offense, monitoring me in a hotel room. 818-K66. And they are doing so on an ongoing basis while the population maintains relevant positioning on the roads and the highways. L4TACO. 975YUP. That's the violent sex offenders, who are the people of the state who are currently free. They're free right now, unidentified. They're closeted sexual violence. They're closeted mental illness, while they are practicing federal group stalking and monitoring as a population is what the federal government is going to prosecute. And I am simultaneously exposing it and prosecuting it. It needs to be known that this is the condition of the average person that you're looking at, that you know that's in your life. ALD363. That mental illness, that sex offender, that obsession, that stalking, that so-called secret stalking, that's what demons do. And it's a public safety concern. And these are the people of the state who engage in massive shootings, like what happened in Las Vegas. That was a demon-possessed person. The entity is group stalking through the people of the state. And I can't see that license plate, but Nevada, Las Vegas Metro Police is group stalking. And the license plate that I just read, all three of them are group stalking with the police. So that's federal prison. The license plates that I just read immediately in the past 90 seconds. Crossing path while the entity is keeping surveillance on the side of the road, and the fake sun remains over me. And that is speaking to the entity that is demon possessed and then exercising fictitious authority as though they don't already know who you are, while they're group stalking you and claiming that your license plate is expired. This is an excuse for the entity that is stalking and surveilling and is a violent sex offender, knowing when my panties are down. And then that demon in your face is pulling you over on the side of the road. Understand why they're going to federal prison. All right. This is how this is how Satan is masquerading as legitimate law enforcement agencies. And this is why demons such as the one over the head of the Nevada State Police, who is affiliated with the demon infected and highly corrupt and thoroughly documented Los Angeles Police Department. That demon originates with LAPD. So that demon is over that corrupt agency. That is the Nevada State Police, and he's going to be removed. Okay. That literally smears fecal matter all over his name, which, by the way, my prosecuting the state of Nevada, you already know his condition and his criminal engagement and his dereliction of duty, to say the least. But no demon is ignorant about what the demons within that department are engaging in. They're engaging in it together as one, as the population, the people of the state, demonstrate on a daily basis. But not only that, the demon's history shows you have guilt by association, literally. You have filth, corruption that follows into the state of Nevada. These demons are heads of agencies and departments in Nevada where federal group stalking monitoring is underway. And it is a public safety concern that demons are currently holding these positions. Those are the ones that are flying in circles repeatedly, pacing all around and stalking an innocent American citizen in helicopters. Only demons do that. Those are the same demons that engage in massive shootings. And then you have the demons wearing badges investigating so-called murders committed by the same condition, the people of the state, while they're group stalking together. This is Satan's spirit. This is Satan's system that's underway. And the demons are playing cops and robbers. That's all that this is. And that's what I'm exposing. It's occurring in California, and it is occurring in the state of Nevada. This is public corruption that is simultaneously being exposed. Public corruption and the heights of hypocrisy, the heights of exposure regarding corrupt leaders and what they necessarily know, what they reasonably cannot contend that they do not know. And I'm going to let you know they know. They're demon possessed. They serve Satan. Satan has them in those strategic placements, and this is exposing them, and this is serving for their removal. And anyone that I encounter, a part of the government, is going to federal prison. Okay, this is how they kidnap and murder American citizens. When they're encountering who are corrupt law enforcement agencies and they are shot, they're murdered while they're on the scene. They're engaging in state surveillance. That's not an accident. That's not a mishap. That's not merely unprofessional conduct. That's a demon-possessed, corrupt government actor who is murdering as an entity while this criminal system is underway. You're going to federal prison. That is no small thing. So I want you to make sure you keep that perspective, mindful of the big picture when I'm documenting what I captured yesterday. And it was on time, it was providence that the demons pulled me over after I captured all of the foundation. And then you're looking at the P.O.C. in operation. You looked at it in operation, and all of the people of the state are going to be prosecuted with the state. They're going to be prosecuted together. They're engaging in state surveillance and federal stalking together. They engage in sexual violence, kidnapping and murder and defamation together. That's exactly what justice requires. It is currently 12:50 p.m. And this is P.O.C. I'm going to capture the light source that remains over me as I exit the state of Nevada. And you know what? You know what does not happen? Let me capture state presence through, they appear to be empty vehicles. It is still symbolic of state presence. And I've documented these sort of petty games by hostile demons who are frustrated by their inferiority as it's exposed as I'm prosecuting them by myself. And then an entire entity is group stalking me. The entity engages in the conduct, which is, you're going to analyze it. Nonetheless, remember, I'm advocating on behalf of the ordinary target individual, on whose behalf I'm going to document right now, 970T27. This is group stalking in traffic. And let me make sure I get these minions first, and then I'm going to go ahead and proceed. The entity is parking vacant vehicles that have the state's emblem on it, where you're seeing helicopters in the specific environment. Just like any stalker, you're always analyzing what the stalker says, what the stalker does, because you have encounters where you are expressly and or impliedly communicating threats, just like any other stalker would be analyzed and prosecuted. The stalker happens to be a whole entity that's corrupt. License N762, engineer light underneath the garage or the bridge that they're driving under. These are demons and they're stalking. West Coast Prime Meats. Those are demons who are driving around and carrying around meat, and they're group stalking together. Okay, molesting with engineer light is 970T27. He's gonna be prosecuted as a sex offender that they are. Okay, they act as one, while engineer light swipes all across the opposite end of the road to touch me. That's how obsessed, that's how sexually violent that they are. And it is 970T27 that shares that condition and that sexual violence. Okay, so I just want to be clear. The entity is parking police vehicles, vacant ones, across the street, which is, it is presence, and I want to document, remember, on behalf of the ordinary target individual, it represents a threat. So the entity is always being followed around by the entity that acts directly. Everywhere you're going, even when they're pulling over the people of the state and the state are group stalking. Pay attention to what I captured: Arcadia police and the people of the state group stalking in Arcadia, where there's never going to be any sunrise or the light source while I'm en route to Las Vegas, but you're looking at what the entity was doing while the sun was setting. As you can see it hitting the building of the Mandalay Bay. The same Mandalay Bay that it's beside when you're looking at it this morning at 7:49 in the morning. This is the highly unintelligent conduct when you're group stalking. It's just wicked. It's not intelligent. It's not intricate. It's not elite. It's not sophisticated. Neither is the demonic behavior of the people of the state or the state. They don't even know the definition of reasonable suspicion. And I'm speaking to the specific demon whose name and badge number I have. And this is speaking to the education requirement, not just on the fact that they don't even, while they're in their, this alternate universe where federal group stalking and monitoring is going to be exposed worldwide, and the federal grounds of prosecuting state governments for practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. So they're currently operating fictitious authority where they don't actually have even a real-time knowledge of what the legal authority whereby you would, if you weren't group stalking, if you were not already corrupt, you would have authority under reasonable suspicion, but you don't because you're a stalker. So you were looking around searching for something. That's a hostile demon that was looking for something, and you don't even have that. And because you did that, you're all going to federal prison, and you're not helping Kevin McMahal. I captured very, very severe documentation yesterday, and if you wanted the demon that's at the head of that department named and identified for purposes of prosecution, that's what you got. And you got time in federal prison, you and the supervisor who's group stalking with you. The entity is doing so, and the education requirement speaks to not only should you be able to rattle off what is reasonable suspicion as a law enforcement officer and understand what law you are operating under as you seek to operate under it, you have to actually be operating lawfully under that doctrine, whatever that doctrine is, especially as any American citizen will ask you a question based on why you're pulling them over. Because you are wearing a badge, you do not have a right to disregard their questions and just tell them to be quiet. Like, as you heard the entity, and let me be clear, everything that they said was threatening my life. It was monitoring. It was audible activity. You're going to federal prison for monitoring me while wearing a badge and bearing weapons. You're going to federal prison for exercising fictitious authority while group stalking. Okay, and you are the basis
for the policy requiring an education requirement, a college degree. You should know how to spell Constitution. You should know what reasonable suspicion is, and you should not be able to abuse some random case that you're just pulling. Oh, well, we have under the Supreme Court case, we can pull you out if we feel there's a measure of discretion that police departments should not have the ability. And the prosecution in the state of Nevada, the prosecution in the state of California is the basis supporting that. They have an exercise of discretion that is unwarranted, and it's dangerous based on this public corruption that not only these corrupt police departments are engaged in, but the very constituents of the state. This unwarranted, this unfettered discretion that they currently exercise is a threat to American citizens. And it should not be the case that because there is existing precedent on the books that law enforcement officers exercise whatever reasonable discretion. Reasonable, first of all, that is that which is interpreted in the courts, and they do not have the same measure of intelligence. They're not as well read. They're not versed whatsoever, and the courts are then interpreting that while the police are at another level of understanding, and based on the facts, you're giving them unfettered discretion, and it's been supported, it's been advocated, and it's been pushed forth because, they're in the face of danger and they need to have that discretion to make the decisions, whatever they need to do it. No, they're corrupt. And in California, at the very least, and in Nevada, at the very least, you do not have that unfettered discretion. You have abused it. You cannot be trusted. So this is the basis whereby you're talking about, first of all, no sociopath, as I stated, no sociopath should be able to walk in off the street, get past the academy, and they get their badge and their gun. This is how you get federal group stalking and monitoring by any demon-possessed group stalker, who then becomes a part of the force. The same demons, they're on the same level. Stalking in traffic, and then you just have a demon that's wearing a badge. What's the difference? What's the difference? There is no, it's a superficial difference. You understand what Satan is doing amongst the population. All right, you do not have, and you shall not have, you should not have, and this is what I am fiercely advocating against. They do not have, based on this public corruption that is exposed, no longer capable of operating within having this unfettered amount of discretion based on facts and circumstances, and they can't even articulate what is reasonable suspicion and probable cause, by the way. If you're going to provide this level of unfettered discretion, there needs to be an education requirement. There should be a level of understanding that is combined with the ability to reasonably interpret what requires what action you take when you take it, when you're exercising unfettered discretion. The reason why this is being tolerated is because the courts are corrupt, and I've documented it. Exhibit A is Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court in California, where the sun is over me at 10:29 in the morning. That's not the case in Las Vegas, Nevada. The two are not happening at the same time. So the courthouse that the demon Lassiter referenced in that criminal act, which is evidence of why he's going to federal prison. Literally, the citation is evidence against that department and him and Kevin McMahal. It was evidence. It's not valid, and it will not be addressed. It's evidence against the state of Nevada. They're going to federal prison. But while you are looking at that, the courthouse that they reference, this is how the pattern of conduct works. You already know all the courts. You know the sheriff's departments, the police departments, the CHP, as you are witnessing, as I'm documenting as well. They're all corrupt. The system is at work. Where you see the traces of the cockroaches coming out of the crevices, it's telling on everyone. The whole system is in operation. You do not have it, nor does it reasonably follow. A pattern of conduct is where you have bits and pieces of the system, but not everybody else is a part of it. No, that's not it. And that's not how any pattern of conduct works. And that's not how this system of federal group stalking operates. You see the demonic features, engineered light. Oh, you have probable cause to investigate for public corruption, where a targeted individual is alleging that they're subject to surveillance, and it's not a fallacy, it's not an illusion, it's not singularly maintained by one suffering from some mental incapacity, like the state would like to contend, like the people of the state like to contend. That's criminal defamation. That's P.O.C. Group stalking is very real, and the government is group stalking. So I just want to speak to that. The entity is playing stupid games, leaving empty vehicles on the sides of the road. This is the chicanery that the demon-possessed and very much defeated terrorist organization, the Ontario Police Department. And they know they're going to federal prison because what the demons in Nevada just engaged in, and ongoing corroborating evidence against their repeated acts of kidnapping. They're going to federal prison. And the pattern of conduct that has been long established, guess what? I crossed state lines, and the same exact pattern of conduct is underway. The terrorist organization, the Ontario PD, the head of that department before they switched hands, I've been documenting this for years, so they've had more than one chief of police. The former ones, everyone who was in office will be prosecuted. You're not getting away with anything. There's no statute of limitations with regard to state surveillance and federal stalking. of an American citizen, especially where you have suffered loss of liberty, where you are suffering a threat to your life, such as exercising fictitious authority while they're criminally surveilling you and federally stalking you. There's no statute of limitations. So I just want to be clear what the state does, what the people do, what the entity does. They're telling on each other. They're telling on each other. So it is clearly, not clearly, but it is currently 1 p.m. Let me document the police group stalking, police detention, license plate EX 77472 under the fake sun. Group stalking with license LT 61832. Group stalking with 342 W23 CWT 8661, which is Arizona. And group stalking with a commercial actor. This is Rapid Color. License plate 945R13. All right, documenting the state group stalking, police vehicle license EK, again, 77472. And they're group stalking with the people of the state. You're looking at the demons who are one and the same. You have a demon driving a vehicle with the word police on them, having as much legal authority under the law as the demons who are group stalking as third parties. Okay, this is the illusion that the entity operates under while masquerading as law enforcement agencies, and these are terrorist organizations, and they serve Satan. And they're sex offenders. They're stalkers, just like the people of the state. They are the people of the state that have been sworn in to serve and protect, and they're doing anything other than that. They're serving Satan, and they're trying to protect their image. That's it. And their image has been obliterated upon federal group stalking and monitoring. And as I document, as I encounter you, you're going to federal prison. Okay. Molesting with engineered light is this demon in relevant position. I'm going to read there, but including HO23. That's a handicap license plate, and that's Nevada. The bus lines, you already are aware of the entire pattern of conduct. The bus lines are group stalking. They are engaged in systematic means of federal group stalking and monitoring. And license GKH84, molesting with engineered light, impossible engineered light, while the demons of the police are driving, stalking in a van with the rest of them. License plate 053W11. And the bus line, the license plate, group stalking with the state. Oh, I can't really see that. We can scratch that. I'm at Symphony Park, however, in Grand Central, and I captured the fake sun which remains over me while the demon-possessed stalk while driving in front of you. That's how a population stalks you. This is the highly unintelligent and inept minions who engage in the pattern of conduct, and again, showing their mental illness when you have been defeated, when everything around you is showing that you have no reasonable basis to be drunk on power anymore. You should be sobering up. The entity is continuously engaging in this pattern of conduct, and they are delusional psychopaths. Their mental illness is made manifest while they, to date, continue the P.O.C. I am driving with the fake sun over my head. I'm going to capture that right now. I'm at Grand Central and City. License plate Jacobs. I've documented them in Fontana, California, group stalking 480X40, and they're group stalking in Nevada. Crossing state lines. I'm going to prosecute that business. All right, crossing path with license plate 5PZL014. It's currently 1:36 p.m. I captured video which will be uploaded for the world to witness the entity that engaged in an attempted murder. And that's intentional and it's malicious. The entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring is not accidentally running into you in a vehicle. They're not ignorant of your presence when they're reversing. They're not honking because they're trying to go somewhere. They're engaging in the elements of monitoring, and the entity that is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking in violation of Title 18 on video engaged in an assault on my life. That is trying to ram me, merging over into my lane when I'm driving, which is a threat to my physical safety, a threat to my life. While driving, vehicles are very dangerous machines. Okay, so that's a threat, and it's reasonably construed as a threat by third party and state actors who are engaging in criminal surveillance. I just documented this on video, so I'm documenting the people of the state. It's currently 1:37 p.m. Everybody that is in that video is going to federal prison. You will also see the demon in front of that vehicle in the same lane. Fake sun is over my head, and that's a demon driving with their hazards on. That's a communication of threat. Remember what I've shown you, how you are interpreting the demonic elements of monitoring. The entity is engaging in demonic behavior in the specific environment, flashing of light. This is a work of Satan. The demons who are showing hostility while I'm documenting their criminal conduct on the 15 South Freeway, headed back to the venue that is California. 4TN7170. Group stalking with license plate MKY 2735. That's Texas. And the entity that engages in trying to inflict harm or take my life, as I captured on video, that is speaking to the threat that the people of the state and the state pose while I'm practicing federal group stalking and monitoring. License plate 9GPL239. These are the demons that are molesting with engineered light while they work to try to physically harm you. They have that same mindset. That's the work of Satan, and the demon possessed are exceedingly hostile while you tell about their mental illness, their criminal conduct, their sickness, while they're targeting you.
and the fact that they're demons while doing so. So that's speaking to the federal prosecution that I stated that they will be subject to, and you witnessed on video why, exactly why. 9 GGP 741. It is not ordinary conduct to engage in group stalking. It is demonic activity. Demons trying to physically harm me and threaten my life while you're already conspiring to murder and kidnap. That's exactly what reasonably follows. License plate DDD 2422. This is why the heads of the police departments, the head of the Nevada State Police, they're going to be prosecuted as domestic terrorists. The entity is engaging in crossing a path 9 CAZ 414. This is license plate, commercial actor. This is a large truck. The back license plate is 4SF 2230. And this is the conduct, again, criminal acts of retaliation and intimidation. This is what the entity does using helicopters. This is what I documented, the demon-infected agency, LAPD, what they would do with helicopters. So how are you communicating a threat when you're on the road, okay, in ways that threaten your physical safety and your life? That's exactly what I just captured on video. This is what the entity does while engaging in group stalking. So that's a threat to your life while you're driving, by the way, and the entity is group stalking you. There's no car accident. It's murder by entity. There's no accident. They're demons, and they know exactly where you're at. They know when your panties are down and you're physically by yourself. License CV756 handicap. And that was an assault on my life that I captured on video, and everybody's going to federal prison that I documented in that video. 6ANY261. And this is speaking to and substantiating exactly what it is that I demand, what I advocate as a matter of justice based on what these corrupt agencies are engaging in. They're terrorist organizations masquerading as law enforcement agencies, and it is on their watch, it is in concert with them that people are physically harmed, that they're kidnapped, that they're defamed, that they are literally their lives are taken. And then that entity remains to control the narrative. The heads of the departments, it's not enough that they are removed. These are terrorist organizations, and any terrorist from abroad would be prosecuted. And they are engaging in conduct that is a threat to the life of American citizens. It's happening on your watch, and not ignorantly so. You are a terrorist, and you're going to be prosecuted as a terrorist. And you will also produce the names that are engaged in documented terrorist acts. And you and them are going to federal prison if you don't. So, license plate, but they will. The demons are going, their whole system is imploding. License plate FLO8419, that's Idaho. It is currently 1:41 p.m. The fake sun remains over me while I am leaving the state of Nevada, contrary to what I documented yesterday while in the state of California, and the entity is maintaining a light source over me in the state of California, en route to Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, so there will be no sun, understanding that this is not the sun that's over me. It's representing the demon possessed who just engaged in an assault on my life on video, because the demons, first of all, Satan is absurdly hostile because... License plate PE50154, that's Indiana. Schneider is a third-party group stalker. They're group stalking on the roads in I.I.S. It is currently 1:43 p.m. Already documenting the fake sun over me at the Chevron off of the 15 South. I'm still in Nevada. Engineer light while this demon parks a dark gray van. It's Oklahoma, PQJ437. License 9JJN251. ARX455, Nebraska. 9FKV351, California. 66430V3, California. 9KVB738. That's a demon operating Coca-Cola, who I've already documented before. I'm going to sue Coca-Cola civilly and criminally for a sex offense via employing demonic methods of molestation. 5NXU212 is demonically engaged in the P.O.C. with Coca-Cola. In case you did not know that, Coca-Cola is a group stalker, a terrorist. License 8166019. Coca-Cola hires the demon possessed. Coca-Cola is owned by the demon possessed. That's why you have the pattern of conduct in Nevada, and I'm documenting Coca-Cola in the state of California, and the impossible occurrence of engineer light and that which is not the sun over me. For example, I documented Coca-Cola group stalking in Upland, California, where there's not going to be any sun over me in Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas since I've been documenting the P.O.C. Okay, so there's no provision for this to be the natural environment. Coca-Cola is molesting me while this demon 9KVB738 is being documented, and you can see the light source through the rear windshield. Okay, this is P.O.C. documenting they're also engaged in that sex offense, and they're going to be prosecuted while they're engaging in surveillance, group stalking in their car. 9GGR793, California. 64846U3. CVM1313, Arizona. 370S96. 9BCD108. 7UZS695. 7HCN 307, demonic pacing. There are a bunch of demons pacing all around, and you know that because the fake sun is over me. License DTOX16. I believe that's Colorado. License 9NE8928 H51OCE Utah. 67499M3 7VXU 892. Those are both California plates. LVF85J. That's Nevada. That goes without saying. 2130. That's a handicap place, and that's Nevada. T482WP. That's Utah. 9MCS478. That's California. 90756V3. I believe I read that one. 297ZYC. In case I didn't read that one, that's Nevada. 9BEX. 192. They're all engaged in a molestation. While one demon molests you, they're all group stalking and engaging the elements together. They're all engaged in a demonic orgy, molesting you together, stalking you, surveilling you, harassing you, terrorizing you while they're group stalking you. 32753U3. They're going to be prosecuted as the sex offenders that they are. 5NXU212. 9BEX192. 25493K1. That's California. 9FHX845. EK11167, and that is Illinois. License DL44704. And the license plate of the demon driving the Coca-Cola vehicle is 823C11. And license 85811H3. T268NS 8BQE508 9HAW060. And that's California, by the way. And the last one before that, 8BQE508, is California. All right, capturing the demon. And this is an aged white male. This is a demon-possessed person, and he is molesting with engineer light, which there's a wealth of documentation what engineer light is. So the entity is molesting, terrorizing with engineer light while I'm documenting the other third party. Again, Coca-Cola will be civilly and criminally prosecuted, and that demon prosecuted as a terrorist, a group stalker. 823C11. That's the Nevada plate on the Coca-Cola vehicle, where a logo is used as a means of engaging the state's pattern of conduct. 8KXG749 9FHX845. Let me repeat that 1 second. 9F8. Let me turn around and get that. I can't see it backwards. That is 9FHX845. 194S24. And stalking in the path, this is a demon with their hazard lights on in perfect alignment. These are commercial actors. I'll show you the fake sun and the demonic behavioral pattern. License, this is Purcell. I don't need their license plate. I'm going to capture them at their group stalking. Third parties, license plate. I believe I already got that one. So let me get CML6571. That says Alberta. I've seen those weird license plates before. I'm not sure what state that is, but it says Alberta. It's a white license plate with the word Alberta is written in red. All right, just engaging in group stalking. This is the ease with which the population, the people of the state, can just group stalk. They can just park in a nearby parking lot, and they can just sit there for crossing a path. And they're engaging in federal stalking as well. License 58A312 864ZZV 299Z70. 857 LDY ALB87, that's Nevada. 177 F06. 290 U45. 147 G31. 264 D45. 58, no, excuse me, this is a Nevada plate, the small letters are LV, and then 5B1A. As I drive all around this parking lot, the fake sun moves all around to remain over me, which is how you know this is not the sun, because there's no sun over the Arcadia Hotel in California, which is where it remained. That's why I captured it all day long, so that there's no question about what I captured in 2022, same time of year when I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library all day long. And that fake sun remains there all day long. That's the basis. Everything's compared to this. That's where the documentation started. I've relocated to LA. I've even traveled to Las Vegas. This is not possibly the sun. All right. That's speaking to and exposing demon possession, demonic activity, a malicious criminal system that a government is practicing. 290 U45 P.O.C. And it is currently 1:54 p.m.
There's one more demon over here with the back license plate. Hi. With the back license plate that it's covered up, so let me get that. All right, 968ZVX. RARA67. And let me get this license plate again in case I didn't get that. Yeah, here we go. YP97551. DC Logistics. And BESL 903. They're stalking as I walk around. I go around an unmanned part of the building, so the demons arrive. License plate. Again, 264D45, in case I didn't get that one, and 968ZVX. So I'm going to show you the fake sun over me in this random parking lot that I stopped at. And this is the P.O.C. And those are demons that are pacing. That's how you understand what is stalking and who are stalking. Demons are stalking. And the state of California, the state of Nevada are demon-filled, and they're engaging in a stalking surveillance. All right, license plate 4UN5655. This is harassment while they're engaging in monitoring, and my communication device, which is my stereo, internet operated. Again, it's related, it's connected to your phone, which is a communication device. Literally, our cars are literally moving communication devices. So this is monitoring while this demon crosses path in the large truck. Not that, well, that one is monitoring. The one I just read is monitoring with them, but this one in particular that I'm about to document crosses path by crossing lanes. Understand that demons are pacing back and forth while they're crossing lanes. The fake sun is over me. It is the P.O.C. And then you have literally the population that's maintaining this demonic pacing on the roads. This is how detailed and how in sync and how much of a hovering entity is engaged in the P.O.C. This is license plate 5185187, and that's a main license plate. It's white and green. And it is harassment while the entity turns on and off your music. All right, and everything that the entity does, I just point out the pattern of conduct. Let me get this third party to this crossing path. License plate 244Y71, and that's a Nevada plate, and they are crossing lines with the criminal intention of keeping an American citizen under surveillance. So it's 3:39 p.m. I am literally inside of my bedroom at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles and capturing a fake sun hovering over directly above the apartment building. As I'm looking at it outside of my bedroom window, the entity is flashing and maintaining the appearance of the blinds on my ceiling. As I open those blinds, I have multiple shadows on my ceiling. That is where the sunset remains 4 hours later, and yet I went to Las Vegas, Nevada, capturing a sunrise and a fake sun that's remaining over me as I come from Las Vegas, Nevada to the state of California, which is the absence of any sun that would be over my apartment or over the apartment complex at any time of the day. This is the pattern of conduct, and I'm showing it. I have shown it and demonstrated it while going across state lines, which you are looking at and witnessing a seamless and consistent and ceaseless system. All right, this is currently, it's 3:40 p.m. Let me document since I'm starting. 5185187. That is indeed Maine. Oh, is this Ryder? Oh, this is great. I'm gonna document. License 9CCA915. Molesting with the commercial actor, that includes Ryder again, but that's not the specific demon. And a different truck, I'm being accosted with engineer light. Ryder is a heavily documented group stalker. Ryder is group stalking, including in LA at Alvarado Gardens, an African American, which is legally relevant. I point that out so that you are understanding. It does not matter what is the particular race of that demon possessed third party or state actor. All right, and the entity is engaging in group stalking, and Ryder specifically group stalking in Los Angeles under a fake sun in the morning, where the entity is engaging in terrorism via directed light. And you'll see it in the video that's already on the record. It's actually published on YouTube right now. I already uploaded it for purposes of the prosecution of the state of California and Nevada. and the entity is dragging Engineer Light behind this vehicle, bearing the logo, recognizing the people of the state. Ryder is a terrorist engaging in state terrorism, going from state to state, engaging in the federal group stalking and monitoring system. That's how you are utilizing and recognizing these logos that cross state line. They do business in all the states, and they do business internationally, but I'm an American citizen. I'm in the U.S., protected by the Constitution, enforcing that, and I'm also informing the public about what commercial actors are doing across this country while they want to make a buck off of you. And they're group stalking you. They're surveilling you. They are hostile. They're demon possessed. They don't even like you. Not that you need to like someone in order to be a consumer, but you need to know that they actually passionately hate you. They serve Satan. Okay, they're selling you products, making money off of you, and they are gratified by the fact that they're also harming you in ways that you are ignorant about, while they are running major companies that have a lot of influence in this country, and that is not an accident. Okay, so I just want to be clear. Ryder is group stalking with Engineer Light and engaged in federal stalking as we're crossing paths, and that's the license plate that I already recited. And this is Ryder that's documented engaged in the state's pattern of conduct. I'm going to prosecute, in other words, Ryder that's engaging in state terrorism, and it's also, as a matter of documentation, showing what these companies are. They're terrorists, and they're engaging in surveillance in all of the states, okay? Unless it's some mom and pop company that's local, like Stater Brothers, which I believe is only in California. As of late, I saw one in Los Angeles County, but that's new, because they're headquartered in San Bernardino, and that was specifically a Southern California, as in San Bernardino County company. But unless it's something like that, these companies are terrorists, as it's defined under federal group stalking and monitoring. The demon possessed are hired, owned, and they are carrying the company cargo, if you will, across state lines. And those are third-party group stalking demons who are monitoring American citizens, as the documentation shows. And all of the venues, okay, where the so-called companies are located, they're third-party facilitating venues. They're monitoring the specific environment is surrounded. So you're understanding the recognition, the ability in this capitalistic society. This is what Satan is doing. These are all the ways in which you can prosecute this terrorism system, and the ways in which the entity is even doing it commercially. They make all of this money, so you drain their pockets while they want to terrorize you and threaten your life and keep you under surveillance. Yes, you charge for that. All right, it's currently 3:45 p.m. I'm in San Bernardino County as my sign, passing Yerma, the exit, and Walmart's in front of me, group stalking, license plate P952201, that's Indiana, Engineer Light on the side of the ground, license plate 2326480, that's a main license plate on the back of this large truck. I'm going to capture the image on the side of it. Plate. This is P.O.C. This is third-party group stalker license plate. This is the Asian female. License SYF2173, that's a Texas license plate, driving a white van. And if those aren't natural born citizens, they're going to be deported. It is currently 3:49 p.m. So the entity engages in the predictable pattern of repeating what they engage in, and that's the basis of federal prison. Like I said, the demon possessed are mentally ill. This is the character of Satan, the personality of Satan, and actually the behavior of a petty, sore loser. But understand that's nothing small. You're dealing with a population of petty, small losers who are stalkers, engaging in harassment, which is terrorism, while population does it, and they're all engaging in what are demonic methods of targeting you. 9DGU 993. Okay, it is currently, this is Title 18, while they're engaging in playing these stupid games, and it's the basis of federal prison. And everybody that I document, if they're not natural born citizens, you are removing yourself from the country. Like, this is what they do while they are getting themselves in trouble. So license 8X22530, and it's currently 3:49 p.m. And I am in Barstow, California, passing exit number 186. The fake sun remains directly over me. Turning the stereo on and off is a means of federal stalking. That's pursuant to the conduct of engaging in surveillance, engaging in federal stalking, engaging in harassment, even while federal Title 18 criminal activity is underway. And this is what the entity does to its own demise. Okay? The state is stalking. That means, is that the state? I mean, it is the state vicariously. I just want to see if that's the state acting directly. No, it's not. Okay. It is currently 3:50 p.m. 8JUE 605 at the 15 Southeast Main Street, in Needles, California. It is currently 3:51 p.m. A license plate. Go ahead and get all these third parties. They would rather be documented and prosecuted for federal stalking. which is, again, risking your freedom. You're going to federal prison more often than not under the facts. License 9FOH157, license 9BFC 461. All right, at 3:52 p.m. you will see the entity engaging in P.O.C. License 9BOA 287, criminal facilitation. All right, that's a basis of federal prison. License plate 172 ZZR. That's an out-of-state license plate. License plate. It's currently 3:52 p.m. There's no sun that's remaining over Las Vegas anywhere, while the exclusive sun is over me going back to California. 9HDY 978. So the entity engages in, this is the, and you're understanding, this is the personality of demons who bear weapons and call themselves police officers in sheriff's departments and for example, Nevada State Police. License plate 9GQM888. This is the personality, this is the decision-making skills. This is the level of maturity of the demon possessed. All right, the harassment, the intent, the purpose to engage in that. It's very psychotic while you're stalking. 37803X2, terrorizing via directed light on the ground while they're crossing path under the fake sun that's over me in Barstow, and it's nowhere near Arcadia, California, for example. License plate 8KRW080. And remember, it's impunity while one demon is crossing path repeatedly because they are all one entity. So they are repeatedly engaging in criminal activity on an ongoing basis. It's not individualized. The impunity of the entity will be placed on the account of the terrorists who are documented engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. It is currently, again, 3:53 p.m. License plate 6HUB127. I am in Barstow, California, and the light source remains over me as I captured in still images. So, license FT6657, that's Iowa. This is a commercial actor. I'm going to document them. License plate 9JJF470. This is a demon hurrying up and crossing path with regard to stalking with activity. Every time I go to change function on my phone, take a picture, start a podcast, the demons cross path. They engage in that by speeding by. They're monitoring. License plate CWP 3986, that's Arizona. T191TZ, and I believe that is, no, that's not Oregon. What is that? Oh, that's Utah. T191TZ. License plate 4RL8776. This is a commercial actor, and the brand is triple S Cargo INC. License plate 7Z. That's 7ZVN779. 8LTK551. 8LTK551. License plate what's revealed, what is so disheartening, what is so sad, what is so tragic, not only the prosecution and the ways that people are destroying their own lives while they try to conspire and murder and kidnap someone else. 9LMC589 043ZZD is it's revealing how many are lost. There are millions of people who are lost, and I have documented a small percentage of them as one person. Millions of people are lost, and I'm just in California going from Nevada. Ecolab is a sex offender, 37039P3. Let me show you the light source over me. I'm going to sue them. Ecolab represents the public corruption that is wrong with these companies that are engaging in state surveillance in the state of California in this nation. You'll see the fake sun over me while Ecolab is group stalking and engaging in the sex offense at 3:56 p.m. 9KRW171. That is the impossibility that it's the natural environment that a demon-possessed third party representing Ecolab is engaging in crossing a path in. Okay, Ecolab is also an already documented terrorist, so they're group stalking, and they're already a documented group stalker, and that's what this company is about. That's what they're doing. 9CDL696. Ecolab hires the demon possessed. They're owned by the demon possessed. They're engaging in terrorism in the United States. Okay, and I'm going to sue them civilly and criminally for the perpetual sex offense that they're engaging in while they are on the roads and the highways engaged in federal stalking. It is, and also state surveillance with the state. It is currently 3:57 p.m. passing exit 178 on the 15 South. McDonald's is monitoring Best Western Plus in Barstow. You already know that they're a group stalker. They're group stalking in the one in Barstow, California as well. That's what lets you know when I go to, that's why I can go to Courtyard Marriott in Las Vegas, Nevada, and go to Courtyard Marriott in Sherman Oaks, California, and the same pattern of conduct is underway. These commercial actors are terrorists. They're engaging in terrorism in the United States, and they have the audacity to want to make a buck off of the American people whom they are keeping under surveillance. You are witnessing me enforce my rights civilly and criminally against corrupt companies. It is also relevant to federal charges, federal prosecution under RICO. License plate 247Z89. All right, and it is currently 3:57 p.m. Bird-Tech crossing path. Bird-Tech is a heavily documented group stalker. They're driving on the 15 North. They're crossing path on the opposite side of the freeway. Readily identifiable, very easily to identify by logo. License plate. Third-party group stalker. Car full of underage third parties as well. CWB8453. Driving a Nissan Altima, a dark blue Nissan Altima. There's a minor, it looks like, in the back seat and possibly in the front seat. Engaging in federal stalking. That's the basis of federal prison. And also loss of custody, whoever is the parent in custody of those children, any of whom are group stalking, and they're all engaged in federal stalking. That's what the people of the state routinely do. And I'm going to document group stalking by the state right now. License plate. And I'm going to show you the fake sign. 1665218. That's California. Group stalking by the law enforcement at Demon video of the state crossing path directly, exhibiting demon possession, another corrupt law enforcement agency. All they're doing is arriving on my video. Again, my documentation is establishing that every law enforcement agency in the state of California is corrupt. And not only that, headline news is that they're demon possessed. 7PWU450. And that is also established by the evidence. And I'm revealing all the ways in which it is a public safety concern. Not only the public corruption, the criminal conduct, but the condition of those that are of that are demon possessed, that are of this sort of mindset, making these types of decisions, having the positions in places of authority that they are not worthy of, that they are disqualified for, that they are maliciously and secretly participating in criminal conduct, and while during the daylight, all right, they are conducting themselves as though they are legitimate, as though they are professionals, as though they are law-abiding. And engaging in what is their duty, which is to serve and protect, okay? And they're not. And so you saw, I captured another video right now, and I'm pointing out the time. You see a police vehicle, it's in front of me, and I documented the license plate in the video. I documented the license plate on the podcast. I immediately went to video, and you will see that vehicle right in front of me. It is the same exact criminal activity that the demon-possessed population, the people of the state, are engaging in. There is no distinction between the two. So you have a demon that just has a badge plastered on their vehicle and on their chest. While they have the ability to carry guns, they're demon-possessed stalkers. That's what's going to be addressed. That's exactly what's going to be addressed. While you're stalking in the path, that state actor is going to federal prison. 8KJE051. That state actor that is on video, captured at license plate, the time and my location, they're going to federal prison. All right. The state that is engaging in group stalking goes to federal prison. I've documented tons of terrorist organization members. They're not police officers, and they will not get that respect or deference from me because I know what they are and I know what they're doing. And they serve Satan. That Satan is a counterfeit. He wants authority. He wants to be regarded as somebody that's important. This is as close as he can get to being God. He will never be God. He is not the equal opposite to God. He engages in what is possessing people who need deliverance and need the Lord Jesus Christ. And he does this through using corrupt governments, okay? He's a wannabe God. All right, so he uses people to exercise authority over those whom he knows he cannot have, and I will never. As you have, the documentation has shown, I will not. I will prosecute you and I'll expose you. 9ZE190. 9ZE. Yeah, I believe that's 9ZE. Hold on 1 second. Let me got that. 9GSS289. 9HIA679 and 9EZE190. Those are the people of the state crossing path. So the entity is engaging in group stalking through corrupt law enforcement agencies. Okay, and 9EZE190 is engaging in threatening my life, driving, getting in front of me in order to press on the brakes, and it's light activity as opposed to safe driving, which is a threat to my life. 9EZE190, P.O.C. It is currently 4:06 p.m. They're driving under a fake sun that is not over Costa Mesa Best Western in Orange County, California. And those are two Caucasian women who are group stalking. Satan doesn't have a race. Satan occupies whatever vessel is vulnerable to him. And if you are not Holy Spirit filled, if you do not have a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, if he is not your Lord and Savior, you do not have any defense or protection from who Satan is referred to as the strong man in Scripture.
He will use you like a prostitute. And I am showing you millions of people who are engaging in demonic activity. They are literally going at the whim of what Satan causes them to do. Beating on objects, stalking an American citizen, stalking a person, another person that they are inexplicably obsessed with because they're demon possessed. This is how you have police-wide stalking. This is how you have police departments and sheriff's departments stalking in helicopter. That's how you get there. It is demonic activity. And it is the work of Satan. This is how you have companies engaging in what is absolute corrupt conduct with your company. I'm sure you did not start your dream of beginning a company so that you can target one person and practice demonic methods of targeting them. That's not what you created your business for. This is what Satan provokes people to do. They're doing it of their own volition. They're doing it with specific knowledge and intent and desire to do so. Satan changes who you are, makes you a disgusting and despicable person. Okay, so you are inspired and motivated to do that which is wicked, that which is disgusting and nauseating, depraved. All right, and you are unaware of the fact. Well, you are aware, but I don't think that you are aware of the fact of how far gone you are, how far removed you have become from being a normal human being while you are demon possessed, engaging in this criminal system. All right, you're talking about a lack of consciousness. You're talking about a seared spirit. All right, San Bernardino County's group stalking. Plenty of shout outs to San Bernardino County when I'm going in to Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm prosecuting them in the state of Nevada. The San Bernardino County is a heavily documented terrorist, and they are not different from LA County. They're not different from the state of California, the DMV, the Social Security Office, all of the state facilitating venues where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, which is also evidence, direct evidence, speaking to what is a statewide system. It is currently 4:09 p.m. The fake sun remains over me. I'm going to document that, and 9ZE190 and license 4HG5034. That is ARB Transportation, a large commercial truck crossing path. Again, it's 4:09 p.m. 9FIP461. Again, that's 9FIP461. It's currently 4:35 p.m. License plate 8J19782. License plate COFFYBN. Terrorism via directed light. That's an act of criminal act of retaliation by demons who are engaged in Title 18 federal stalking. And that's the pattern of the demon possessed, the terrorists that are conspiring to murder and kidnap you, and they engage in demonic activity, which is terrorism, while you document and enforce your rights against their criminal conduct. FedEx license 85423P2. This is license plate DD25L2Z. That's a paper plate on a white van. And who even knows if that's real? Looks like they just taped it on. License 8MOX831. Criminal obstruction of justice is built into the pattern of conduct. So the federal prosecution of the people of the state, nobody's getting away with anything. And it will be intense enough for each documented third party and state actor to incorporate the fact that the entity is always engaged in criminal acts of obstruction of justice. 17811H3. License plate 52292F3. License CWP 3986. License 7GXJ923. It's 4:37 p.m. PA 86566. That's an out of state. I want to say Indianapolis. I'm not sure though. That's on a large commercial truck. Large truck. License plate 7WKW438. 7X85701. Engineer light, we're reaching across the freeway. This demon is license G631JO. License plate Tony's Fine Foods is monitoring with the demons who are engaging in terrorism together. So is this third party. License 8023633 Maine. That's a Maine license plate from the state of Maine. This is UNFI, who is group stalking in Nevada. US.179097. That commercial actor is going to be prosecuted group stalking from state to state. State surveillance, terrorism with the people of the state, criminal facilitation with the people of the state. All right, and I'm documenting a sex offense in concert with the people of the state. 6ZLX469. $58453T2. currently 4:38 p.m. So many cowards that conspire to engage in criminal conduct. 8YUY949. And this demon engaging in egregious group stalking using a directed light that's moving inside of my car right now. A white female and a white male group stalking demons engaging in terrorism via directed light, covering up their license plate with 2 buckets on the back of the white van. License 7ERH828. Again, that's 8VUY949. Both of them together terrorizing via directed light. Okay, that's a sex offense that both of them are going to be prosecuted for as well. That's impunity and malice. 40777T2 7ER. Hold on, I can't see that. 7ERH828. License 8SXW687. CWO6T50. That's paper 57921W2. That is Harris. Termite and Pest Control is the logo on the side of that vehicle for purposes of identification. If they happen to be on the job right now, then I'm going to prosecute that company. Where the entity engages in the pattern of conduct while you're using some sort of company, some sort of commercial means, you're going to be prosecuted. That third party, that company is the third party, and that demon operating the vehicle or working at that facilitating venue will be prosecuted. I already documented this third party. License 8. Hold on. License 03397G2. That's Penske, U.S.32757. It's currently 4:40 p.m. I'm going to capture the light source over me while demons are engaging in terrorism on the roads and the highways under a fake sun. This is a freeway full of demons engaging in state surveillance. This is how obsessed the terrorism via directed light. This is license plate Tennessee 1862337T. On the above this vehicle, just bands and bands and bands of directed light just swiping across the bridge that's above the truck. Entirely demonic. License, that's the back license plate, and this is MC9400308. This is Fremont Trans Incorporated, US.2820179. This truck is available rent to own. Info at rent2own.biz. I just want to read the sign on the side of that, and I'm going to capture an image. The demonic activity reveals a very disturbed mind state. And this is a population, like the population that's engaging in this everywhere that you're going. The work of Satan is vast and broad. And I just want to document this is occurring under the name of a brand, which you're going to prosecute for the terrorism that they're engaging in. All right, it's criminal conduct, it's serving to honor, it's light activity, and it is demonic. That's designed to terrorize an American citizen. This is what the people of the state are just doing willy-nilly all day long. So it was so psychotic with regard to how demonic it was. That's why I want to document this third party. It's 4:44 p.m. 8KWA 785 8JIR 559 8RZL 367 8EEE 168 9GLR 771. License 5CWA 895, and this is in San Bernardino, California, where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. 8EUK 796, and the fake sun is right over me, where I got off the freeway and I'm driving in the opposite direction. I'm driving north, and the fake sun right in step. 8PAR 231. Demons of all races. Okay, 9EXP 128. License 9BON 486. License 43889Y3. License, let me see, BZ08M60. That's paper. And again, getting off at where the California State University is at University Parkway. The fake sun is right over me, and it's 4:53 p.m. I'll go ahead and capture this after I get these licenses. CF43P12 paper 9JKC271 9JKC271 9DQM313 3852C. That's Maine. On a large truck, license 9JES282. Monitoring together while a demon driving a large truck is engaging in terrorism, and engineer light is ricocheting inside of my car while you're just driving by. And I'm in Rialto, California, where you're driving under a fake sun, you're group stalking. So 9GFP158, 8VSA659, and it is 5:10 p.m. capturing the light source over me at the same exact venue where I was at yesterday, August 5th, 2024 at 11:22 in the morning. 8KRA851 showing where there is no respecter of persons, not only based on what scripture says, but also based on the law and the way in which it's going to be applied. DYLSMUM, and the entity is group stalking at third-party facilitating venue Sunrise Church, where I was subject to this criminal system and sexual violence, harassment, and while the entity was also documenting, again, this is before the entity began stalking in helicopters and began outright kidnapping. Nonetheless, this is the criminal system, that demons that surrounded me at a fake church. It's a religious organization, not the true church of the Lord Jesus Christ. All right, and so this is showing that pattern of conduct, and the light source is over me at that venue yesterday at 11:22, 11:34 in the morning, and it's over me at that same exact location after returning from Las Vegas, Nevada, where at this time yesterday the light source is setting. It's remaining in Nevada. That's not occurring at the same time, showing the P.O.C. Okay, 9JES282, 9FCC277, 20857X3, and 9MJM702, and this is showing how a state is engaging in a targeting system, and it is demonic in nature, and it includes facilitating venues that call themselves churches. And that is not the case. The duration of time analysis is where you would recognize that the duration 11:22 to and 5 o'clock in the evening is when I'm documenting, and then also juxtaposing being in Nevada in alignment with me and being in Rialto, California at Ayala and Riverside Avenue in alignment with me at the same time, let alone remaining stationary in Arcadia when I don't drive anywhere. And it's remaining there, rising in the morning and still there after 5 p.m., which I capture images of because I'm showing you what is a pattern of conduct. BOSSDEA. There is no boss engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. That's a demon. Okay, a wannabe. All right, 7SUT955. And the third party engaging in terrorism via directed light is this third party again with the main license plate 2638552C. And this is crossing path and terrorism via directed light, and the people of the state are group stalking with this third party, a commercial actor, Martin's Trucking Incorporated, California 552040, U.S. dot 1936931, MC 691141. And I'll go ahead and capture an image of that as well. This is another commercial actor who I will prosecute for engaging in terrorizing me, sexually molesting me. It's not enough for them to stalk and follow you around. Demons are also interested in touching you in demonic methods, and it will be respected under federal law, equally sexual violence. Equally. Okay? Doing so while you're driving a commercial vehicle, well, then I'll prosecute that company as well. It is currently BCT364, PB75370. That's Walmart. License plate 9MPV245 6WZJ990. $36179G2 9CPZ693 G914LU, that's Utah. 9DXL078 It's currently, by the way, 5:21 p.m. 9KGU916, in case I did not read that one. 6LNY744. License 9DXL078, I believe I might have read that one. That's nonetheless third party. License 9ANS. Again, let's say 9AAN597. 6VZJ990, I believe I read that one. Reading it again. Crossing path. This is surveillance. Remember, this is all surveillance. The entity is maintaining surveillance by having a multiplicity of faces perpetually present. The entity also engages in surveillance when you have a demon that's staying on the freeway, and then this isn't traffic, it's group stalking. License 9AYE166. License 54135, 5RRZ 886. License 98. Oh yeah, I read that one. 53728X3, 19L362, substantially similar. I couldn't really see that. That was a motorcycle. 05174V2. I am in Upland, California, where at this time yesterday, excuse me, not at this time yesterday, but 32763J3. When I am in Las Vegas, I'm capturing the light source over me, and I was juxtaposing it to my location right here in Upland, where the fake sun was right over me in the state of California, in Upland, where the demons were on the side of the freeway creating light activity. And then the light source is at the same time over me in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where I'm located right now. 7MBL567, and it is 5:23 p.m. The sun would not be at the same location. 8JYW820. That's also how you know what that is. That is a third party that's engaged in surveillance. You also know that this isn't traffic and that it's criminal surveillance, which is also federal stalking because of the impossible light activity. Apart from what is the fake sun, which has nothing to do with this impossible light activity. License plate. This is an Asian couple. 8YXP267, and if they're not natural born citizens, they will be deported after they're prosecuted for terrorism in the United States. License 09873G2. All right, criminal facilitation. License plate 8CQR653. Let me get over. Criminal facilitation 8BES 510. Monitoring with the demon that's on the side of the road, engaging in criminal facilitation. Just on the side with their hazard lights on, enabling the rest of a population that's conspiring to murder and kidnap someone so that they can better group stalk you, better monitor you, creating light activity in the environment. All right, license plate 4WGL 109, 7MBL567, 8C QR653. I might have read that. I'm reading that one again. Crossing path. I'm at Mountain Avenue, Mount Baldy, on the 210 freeway, the 210 West. License BOXSTYL. I read that third party license already. XYA6Z, I believe, and that looks like a Nevada plate. The black plates. 09873G2, that sounds familiar because I did not read that one. It's a third party driving a white van, no logo or anything on it. License 80096W3. JC518, that's a handicap plate. 6VZT918. 9GQT073, P892591. That is an Amazon Prime. That's a large commercial truck carried by Charu, CHARRU Transport Incorporated. They are group stalking. License License 9JPN585. 9LPN585. License 9HBJ948. This is a tow truck, and the license plate is 4TZ2748. Well, it's on the back of a trailer, actually. The license on the truck, it's not a commercial vehicle, but they're towing a vehicle. This license plate is 10565U3.
read that one already. And I read that one already. License plate. I believe I already read 9RPJ436. Crossing path again, which is they're all in, this is just demonic pacing on an ongoing basis. I am coming up to Fruit Street. I took a picture of my location on the 210 freeway yesterday, headed toward the 210. Right now I'm going 210 west, so I was going 210 east, and this was in the morning, and the entity is maintaining the light source over me in the evening on the same freeway, and I'm literally passing the same sign, so I'm going to capture the image of that. This is documentation of the statewide pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, and this is how you are also recognizing there is nothing vague or ambiguous or unclear about the targeted individual's position, who is being targeted, and who is being stalked, for example, in planes and helicopters. All right, it is 5:29. The exit of Fruit Street, which is what I captured yesterday, coming from, again, Los Angeles County, the place of origin where the sun is rising, and then the place where my destination, and the fake sun is following, coming from a different state, going past the same location where I was in the morning time, 7LLR975, and the fake sun is still over me. Again, that's necessarily referred to as exactly as I stated. It's a fake sun, and this is a whole fake society that are engaging in a satanic system of surveillance. All right, everything is, they're all standing on a stage, they're all acting, and it's poor acting. The more that you pierce into beneath and into the details of what Satan is doing amongst a bunch of demons. 67300Y1. And this is revealing the threat that currently exists while you have a population of closeted, mentally deranged people who are practicing a secret system of surveillance, and it's sick in every regard. All the elements of monitoring and the pattern of behavior and the ways in which the entity is then hostile because you're exposed as a stalker. 9LPN585, never mind the fact that you are stalking. It should be something that you're embarrassed by, shameful of. What are you getting angry about? This is a mentally deranged population. And that is the mental illness. That is the manifest effects of demon possession. 9BOX786. And so that's for comparison. That's going toward the prosecution of the state of California, for the prosecution of the state of Nevada. All right. It is captured in the morning, going on the same freeway in the morning, 210 east, and it is evening. It's 5:30. Going past the same exit, Fruit Street, and I do that for illustrative purposes. And the light source is directly over me in the same manner. And there is no question about who surrounds me and what they are doing when I state engineer light all inside of my car. Impossible occurrence. The entity stalking in the same manner when I'm inside of a building. Remember, the entity's keeping a fake sun as though that's the sun in alignment to my apartment in Los Angeles. What was the LAPD engaging in? What are they while they're engaging in it? What is that's directly probative regarding what the people of the state at that apartment complex and all around that apartment complex, what they are and what they were doing. And it's exactly as I documented, and they're going exactly where I told them they're going, and what's going to happen to them is going to be exactly as I stated what's going to happen to them. License 9GQT073. All right, it's currently 5:32 p.m. 8X59098, I believe, substantially similar. I believe that's the correct license plate. It's okay. License 7ZZH310. License 41977B3, 9JJV261, license 9MBB586. It's 5:32 p.m. 8MKJ866. ULZ817, 7YCY818, California Highway Patrol,
Just like the Nevada Highway Patrol, federal group stalking and monitoring demon-possessed. It's light activity while they use a state vehicle turning on the lights. That's the outward demonstration of demon possession in the specific environment, as opposed to the appropriate and honorable execution of a duty of a law enforcement officer, CHP, helping. But those are demons, the people of the state, and those are demons that corrupt CHP. And that's federal group stalking and monitoring. It's anything but normal. It is absolutely malicious, and it is the basis of federal prison. Everybody's license plate is documented in the time frame I'm documenting it. License 8HDE978. 7WVC921. Oh, and by the way, that was on the opposite side. So that's on the 210 eastbound side. I'm on the 210 westbound side, where the state is group stalking with the people of the state. License 6DWK511 7XWB069. 7FAV171. 9DDX516. 8TMC417. 9MKK362. 7DJR583. Okay, I will return as the circumstances call for it. It's 5:35 p.m. P.O.C. All right, under the fake sun at Buena Vista Street in Doherty, California, while the entity is stalking in helicopter and stalking with police lights. 8NFP095, that's a white Tesla, and that's the basis of federal prison. License plate 9LLW054, that's the same, federal prison, and it's California Highway Patrol. Remember, the leader, the corrupt leader over the California Highway Patrol is going to be removed from their position. They're stalking in the path on the side of the freeway, just like demons do with their hazard lights on, and the entity flies over over in helicopter. Okay, the fake sun followed me from Las Vegas, Nevada. The entity engages to its own demise. It's criminal co-conspirators. The demon-possessed population go to federal prison while they're group stalking with the state. 7MAX426. 9LLW054, and license plate, license V720110. And that is again CHP in concert with the state. I am in the city of Doherty, group stalking by helicopter. All right, now capture that fake sun right now.
It's currently 2:35 a.m. and it is August 6, 2024. So the loud audible activity that's inside of a hotel room, which is a facilitating venue. You saw my perpendicular shadows outside. You saw the demonic pacing by planes and the documentation of the demonic pacing and amplified helicopter activity. You literally saw the light source remain over me from the state of California to the state of the facilitating venue of the state of Nevada. This is all manner of the P.O.C. And so this is audible activity that my hotel room is filled with while in operation of my communication device, which the entity is engaging in. It's not different from demons pacing around in the hotel room. So the entity has filled my hotel room with the means of loud audible activity, which is clearly disruptive of a hotel room that you paid for, while they are also group stalking you and keeping you under surveillance, and doing so by being placed in a hotel room where noise is just occurring as you're in operation of your communication device. And you also happen to be capturing damning evidence against the state of Nevada and also against government actors such as Kevin McMahal. This is the P.O.C. and that amplified audible activity is occurring inside of my hotel room, room number 239 at Courtyard by Marriott in Las Vegas, California. And the entity is using that noise as it's the same demonic pattern. So again, you are recognizing the demonic pattern of conduct, and you are recognizing the ways in which the entity engages in the pattern, but the pattern remains the same. And the pattern is the behavioral patterns, which are demonic, occur in the demonic environment. And it is a means of not only harassment and intimidation and terrorism, it's also clearly disruptive in an expensive hotel room that you paid for. And the entity is using it to, in other words, stalk with audible activity. The entity also engages in such conduct to harass and terrorize because they're hostile demons who are monitoring in a private space. Okay, so MARRIOTT is already subject to prosecution for group stalking. MARRIOTT is group stalking with the state that's pacing around in helicopters, doing so also in the specific environment with community ambulance who arrived, all of whom it's a public event every time I pull my panties down. And you have community ambulance who promptly arrive to engage in monitoring while the target individual, that is myself, my genitalia is exposed, and that is literally a public event for the demon possessed who are group stalking and keeping you under surveillance, maintaining presence in relevant position with a method of light activity in order to monitor and surveil you, which is the sexual violence built into the P.O.C. This is the venue where the entity is filling my hotel room with an inexplicable form of loud audible activity while Title 18 and criminal surveillance is underway. Again, it's August 6, 2024.
All right, capturing spectacular video drawing the pattern of conduct as it exists amongst the two states, California and Nevada. And this is serving for the removal of corrupt leaders, C621B1, while they will also be prosecuted for what shall be recognized as domestic terrorism here in the U.S. and what that system looks like and who is engaging in it. And it is a population. It is a government that is acting through the population, and it is a massive issue of public corruption, and the system is demonic at its core. In that video that I captured, you're literally looking at a demon that's operating a helicopter flying right next to the sun, right? If you would like to suggest that the sun, it's not. BXHB 917 5PBT 583, and they're doing so while I am in my vehicle driving back toward the city where the fake sun was purportedly over. Arcadia police who are group stalking with these same demons. Okay, so the entity engages in group stalking moment by moment, and then you're looking at a traffic stop as though anyone has forgotten about the body of evidence. The only short-sighted demons who are losing at their own checker match, okay, which this is not checkers, okay? The entity is engaging in conduct, providing evidence against themselves. I'm going to prosecute Kevin McMahal with the pattern of conduct that California is participating in. It's the exact same criminal system that is employed in the state of Nevada. I'm going to prosecute for domestic terrorism, the criminal activity that is. You're not talking about any protection, or I can't be held accountable for the criminal conduct of the police officers, because no. This is a pattern of conduct that the entity is engaging in together. And you are responsible, and you will be prosecuted for the ongoing conspiracies conducted by the department at your leadership to murder and kidnap people while they're masquerading as law enforcement agencies and they're terrorist organizations. A lot of murders, a lot of kidnappings are currently have occurred and are currently underway while under the corrupt leaders such as Alan San Victoris, such as Dominic Choi, and they will be prosecuted. And the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring is justly on their watch, and for them to be prosecuted for that's criminal conduct. And the entity just provided evidence speaking to the prosecution, the just prosecution of such corrupt leaders for criminal activity. You will not walk away scot-free and merely be removed from your position and not be charged with any federal offense while you are in a position of leadership over these corrupt departments who are murdering and kidnapping people, assaulting and terrorizing them in concert with an entire population. Just like I just captured on video where the entity is doing donuts in a helicopter under the fake sun over the 210 East Freeway. The same freeway that I'm driving on in the morning yesterday en route to a whole other state, and that fake sun remained over me. And at the same time yesterday, that fake sun is over the Mandalay Bay. It's over the MGM, where the entity is providing evidence against each other. Now you're putting the states against each other, showing the demon possession while they are maliciously engaging in the creation of spectacular evidence against themselves. All right. So every license plate that I documented in that video, and if I included any on this podcast, which I believe I did, and I immediately transitioned to video to show it, they're going to federal prison. All right. So this is capturing, if not thousands, I have hundreds and hundreds of the people of the state, which is nothing other than a margin of the terrorists that currently live in the state of California, because the entire population is engaging in terrorism. That's what the system of federal group stalking and monitoring is. While I am noting this, inside of my car, a demon gets the motivation to do donuts over all the people of the state whose license plate I can clearly see, while they are heavily documented engaging in ceaseless P.O.C. And so then you add the helicopter, that equals federal prison. It's a very simple formula. And the demon possessed who are mentally ill, very highly delusional psychopaths, that public safety concern is very real. Very real. That lawlessness, that disregard equals having weapons and shooting up buildings, shooting up people for no reason whatsoever, regardless of whether somebody is watching or capturing it on camera. That's the same mindset. That's the public safety concern. You're talking about removal from the position over the CHP in California, removal from the position of leadership over every corrupt police department that is already sitting on the record. And there are more than 8, if I'm not up to 10, and every sheriff's department in SoCal, including Orange County, Los Angeles County, and San Bernardino County. All right. And so that's what you will see on video. And as I capture the license plates, the people of the state, that's impunity. It's not traffic. Those are demons that are acting with impunity as they're crossing path. Let me be clear. The demons who will respect the federal prosecution, they will learn to not engage in crossing a path, because that's what you're doing when you're crossing lanes. They're not going anywhere. They're engaging in surveillance in plain sight. They belong in federal prison. Remember, this is criminal monitoring. This is federal stalking. The obsession, while they're in the specific environment, is shown while they are engaging in criminal presence instead of fleeing from being in present relevant position. That's not what the demons do. You're looking at them crossing path. I'm reading license plate after license plate. They're monitoring while they're doing that, while the entity is stalking in real time with a corrupt law enforcement agency fully capable of pulling out a weapon and shooting up the targeted individual. That's the threat that you're posed with. Why are they stalking in helicopters? This is a reasonable fear of the ordinary targeted individual when you are inexplicably engaged in stalking, and it is unmistakable stalking of a demonic nature. And the demons know that they're being documented. You are reasonably in fear of your life while they fully have access to weapons, and they're using helicopters for such criminal purposes. That's what I captured on video. And the leaders of these corrupt agencies are subject to prosecution and exposure for being domestic terrorists. And this domestic terrorism occurring on their watch, occurring and remaining existing for so long prior to my exposure of the system, because such demons sit in, which demons, remember, that's synonymous with psychopaths. That's synonymous with malicious criminals, deranged mindsets amongst the demon possessed who are stalking in helicopters. And that's resembling the demented mindset of every person a part of that department. That's the Arcadia, Monrovia, Duarte. That is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department while I am on the 210 freeway. And the entity is engaging in that show of hostility by demons that know exactly what I went to Nevada prosecuting them for. Because that's what happened. I went to Nevada and I prosecuted the state of California beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's already existing on its record. Going to Nevada is nothing but a surplus of evidence. And it's also serving to prosecute the state of Nevada. All right. It is currently 5:53. I just wanted to give analysis and additional context regarding what I captured and what shall be nothing less than, and what the ordinary target individual is entitled to, federal prison for the terrorists who are acting with the state that engages in such criminal acts of psychological torture and terrorism, stalking and harassing while following and engaging in communication of threat, and then doing so. You're doing it against me, and I'm prosecuting and exposing you. That's speaking to what the entity does against those that, you're talking about are reasonably fearful for, literally, they're scared to breathe. Okay. So you're going to federal prison for that, because you're understanding and recognizing what an entity is doing to an American citizen. All right. And you're recognizing it's fully in alignment with over my head. And that's not going to be anywhere near the Mandalay Bay, creating any sort of appearance of the sun through the building of the Mandalay Bay, like I captured during this time yesterday in the state of Nevada. That's how you're recognizing demons who are targeting me and who are hostile because I'm in the city that they don't own. And they're going to be prosecuted by laws that they are not above either. And every third party who's group stalking with them, as I read their license plates, they're that easily going to federal prison. It's 5:55 p.m. CD 16P32 9JEH 105 in Pasadena, California. Group stalking with Engineer Light, the same demons that are stalking with Pasadena police in a black helicopter. All right, so the entity is engaging in the P.O.C. And doing so following from city to city in helicopters because first off, to engage in bullying, now because they're fearful of what I'm exposing about them and the ways in which they're going to be prosecuted, which is still very disturbing regarding the public safety concern, the mental illness that's manifest by demons who are engaging in this criminal system, because you resort to more terrorism while you are exposed as engaging in terrorism, which is the public safety concern. This is what the people of the state and the state engage in together, and this is why I'm capturing the fake sun over me on the 210 West Freeway. And as I get off the 210 West Freeway, the fake sun is directly over me while Pasadena police and a black helicopter fly directly over my car. All right, 8WCC 559, the same third party that was group stalking with Pasadena police. And they're group stalking right now with Pasadena police. It's just that Pasadena police made the mistake of flying over my car such that I can capture you on video. And that has reverberating repercussions for the entire department, for that demon that's flying that helicopter, for the people of the state that are group stalking, not only that I capture on license plate, but that live right there at that intersection, for purposes of prosecuting everybody surrounding you, group stalking with the state, terrorizing with the state, engaging in psychological torture with the state. I don't care if you're sitting in your living room crocheting on the couch, you're group stalking in the specific environment. That's why the fake sun is over me where you live. This is a statewide system, and demons live in facilitating venues. They are not people who are exercising privacy rights, happen to live in a venue where the natural environment exists. That's why the specific environment is present, because it's a statewide system. These are demons that fill the state of Pasadena, fill the state of Arcadia, fill the city, of Monrovia, fill the city of Duarte, as I'm driving city to city and the entity is falling with helicopter after helicopter. That in and of itself is beyond a reasonable doubt the federal prosecution in the state of California. It's currently 6:07 p.m. This is P.O.C. License 9LNS 895-36414W3 DD35Y96. That's paper. 7WLA 832 6ETV 452. Let's see. DB 97A97. That's paper. Engineer light where there's not even any cars around me is moving across my the visors that you pull down above your head in your vehicle. Engineer light swiping across it. There's not even any car that's around. This is demonic. Like I said, the demon possessed are in relevant position, however, on Del Mar Boulevard and Rosemead. That's where I'm at, and those license plates are parked along the street, and they are group stalking as I drive by. That's called crossing a path. The engineered light, the demonic conduct that coexists with the work of Satan, the engineered light conduct, again, while the demons are crossing path, it's occurring inside of my car while nobody is even driving by me. The presence is being accomplished by the demons who are in vehicles, in their houses, which I documented. The demon possessed, the third parties who live along Del Mar, and they're group stalking while the engineer light is swiping on the inside of my car. That's the P.O.C. right there. It is entirely demonic. It is currently 6:20 Arcadia p.m. Police group stalking with third party 9EEK C90 8KUD 413 6AXZ041 9EFC 237 F804XO, and also Metro, which you already know is a group stalker. Engineer light, in the same way that I captured in Glendale, is all along the ground right now. 1630598, that's impossible light activity, and they're group stalking under a fake sun and using the Metro bus line as a means of federal group stalking and monitoring and federal stalking with the population. All they do is circle around on bus routes all day long, group stalking. All right, and Metro is going to pay exorbitant damages for what they're doing as a business for the state, this criminal system, just like Omnitrans, just like Foothill Transit. It's the P.O.C. They're group stalking with Arcadia Police right now. 8FMF 259. It is 6:28 p.m.